Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for President Easterling, Vice President Brooks, Director Fiesta, and all of you for having me in this morning. Richie kind of took a little spark out of my comments by acknowledging all the veterans, but again, we'll talk about that in just a little bit. Everybody just now was able to look around. When Rich asked, would all the veterans stand up, there were quite a few people here in the room. And that looks just like our union halls. That looks just like our workplaces. And that's something that's really at the core that I want to talk to you about today, because while some of us are veterans, we're all trade unionists, right, brothers and sisters? We're all trade unionists. And veterans issues are working families issues. The mission of the Union Veterans Council, Rich just mentioned, we focus on two main areas: access to good jobs for veterans, good jobs, good union jobs, jobs that allow you to own a home, raise a family, and retire someday. And ensuring that veterans have access to quality health care through a strong, fully funded, fully staffed VA and DoD healthcare system. Again, good jobs, quality health care. Those are the things that have been part of our collective bargaining agreement since the birth of the labor movement, and that is why, again, veterans issues are working families issues. Working families issues are veterans issues. And just like veterans have been the vanguard in going out before and fighting when their country called upon them, veterans can again be a part of the vanguard in leading the fight for working families everywhere across this country. So yes, we are constantly going to be working to find those avenues for good jobs, working to find those avenues to make sure people have access to the quality health care that they earned. And we are going to lead those fights, both for veterans and for working families. But, we're going to do something else too. We are going to constantly work to hold elected officials accountable in private enterprises for the words and their actions. We are going to remind people that when you want to close a post office, you are going to put a veteran out of work. When you want to outsource a factory, you are going to take a job away from a veteran. When you don't respect project labor agreements, when you don't respect prevailing wage, you are putting more veterans on the bench, out of work, and in line at food pantries, and we are going to call you out for that. You are no longer going to be determined. Your ability to call yourselves pro-veteran will no longer exist based upon just the lapel pin you wear or the catchphrase that you employ. And we will call you on those things. We will let people know who you really are, and we will let people know who we really are, because it is the trade union movement who has always stood with veterans. It is the trade unionist movement who has always worked to make sure that people have access to good jobs, good benefits, quality health care. It's the people who go to work every single day providing some of the best health care in the world to our veterans, and we are the backbone of America. We are the backbone of the trade union movement, and we are going to be the vanguard in the fight that is going to lead us all to victory. Because we are going to win, sisters and brothers. We are going to win, and we're going to win because of the great work that you all have been doing, the great work that the affiliates of the Union Veterans Council and all the trade unions have been doing, and we're going to do this together. Now, the Union Veterans Council, it's open to anybody, right? And I encourage you to find an opportunity to sign up and join. We are in the process of launching a new website. We are retooling for the fights ahead. You can find out more about us at unionveterans.org. But more important than that, you can email me at wfischer, Fischer, at aflcio.org, or you can give me a call anytime at 202-320-7423. I am open to I'm an evangelist for the Union Veterans Council. And I look for any opportunity I can to get our message in front of people. And, you know, earlier they said, oh, well, we're preaching the choir. Well, sometimes the choir needs to get the word too, right? And, I look forward to hearing from you. I look forward to working with you. I know so many of you yesterday when y'all were coming in from my time with AFL-CIO Community Services for all those years before I came into this. And I look forward to working with you so much more in the future. And I want to know if there are any questions in the audience. I built in some time for that. And you have veterans, I promise, that are part of your retirees groups, part of your auxiliaries, part of your local unions, and they are at every single job site in America. And as much as we are going to work to remind everybody on the outside of that, we need to also make sure that we remind ourselves of that as well. And again, because veterans issues are working families issues, and we're in this fight together, they are not independent of each other. And we are gonna win though, folks. You know, we hear bad news, right? But, you know, we're going to win. We're going to win because we're going to work harder, because we're going to tolerate cold hands, sore feet, long days, and we're willing to just work harder than everybody else. That's what we've always done, and that's why we've always won. All right? Now, does anybody have any questions? Yes, number 4.
You mentioned that we're all union members, but we're not.
Yes.
In fact, most of the speakers do think that we're all union members, but we're not. So I would like to ask if we have any particular plans to work with the veterans of the United States that belong to the 87% of retirees that are not union members. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. That's a wonderful question. I understand everybody in here is not here, but I do believe that you are here because you believe in the fundamentals of trade unionism and some of our beliefs and our core values. Specifically to your point, we have been having some conversations recently with Working America. We are obviously working with Rich and ARA to communicate our audience as broadly as possible. And we do. You know, you mentioned that number, that 87%, and that's real. And we do exist to communicate to all veterans, to educate all veterans about these issues, and primarily even those recently separated or are in the process of getting out of the service. My union, the International Union of Painters and Allied Trades, is just one union that is currently working on military bases right now to let people know that and get people educated on that when they get out of the service, they can go right into the day after they get out. The EAS is the term for it. They're going right into an apprenticeship program. They're going to be able to earn while they learn. They're going to be able to use their GI Bill, and they are going to be setting themselves up with a ticket to a great life, right? Now, there's a lot of unions doing that. We got anybody from the UA in here? Plumbers and pipe fitters? Right? We got the VIP program, Veterans in Pipe Trades. They're doing very similar work. There are a tremendous number of veterans groups at affiliates of the AFL-CIO and of the Union Veterans Council who are working steadfastly in getting more and more veterans into the trade union movement and into good jobs. Number 1.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning, brother.
Thank you very much.
Yes, my question is the following. I'm also a veteran, retired, and what I see lately is when we go to the hospital, VA, the lines are so long. Why isn't any changes been done to improve the quality of service for us, the veterans that we serve, and we work so hard, we gave so much, and today we get treated like we're trash? Why is it that is anything getting done? I hear all kind of rumors and saying that we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to improve. Nothing is done. The veterans, we can go there, they want us to serve, they want us to give us our life. Look at the young people that are coming back now today, and what are they doing to them? They don't even have a place to go. They're homeless. 98% they're homeless. What is going to be done about that?
Brother, thank you very much. And before I get into your answer, I think that there's not a person in here would disagree with the statement that when a young woman or a young man volunteers to serve their country, you know, their health insurance premium is paid in full for life. That's a promise we made to our service personnel a long, long time ago, and it's a promise that we're going to keep. At our VA hospitals, the frontline employees at our VA hospitals, some of whom are probably in this room, represented by the AFGE, are among some of the most professional, dedicated people you will ever meet in any environment. Are there problems? Absolutely. But the same people who talk about those problems are the same people on Capitol Hill who will talk about, why is this VA hospital this? Why is this VA hospital that? Well, let me ask them a question. Why have you refused consistently to not fund those VA hospitals? Why is funding for VA hospitals still considered discretionary spending and not mandatory spending? Why, like our wages, has the funding stagnated as the numbers seeking assistance at those hospitals has gone up? Now, there are issues, absolutely, and the issues, and very often you're talking about, those are management issues, and they are real, and there are problems that have to be fixed. But we cannot allow those issues to be used as a political football to strip collective bargaining rights away, to strip due process away, and to blame the frontline workers, the people who work their skin off their bones. People who are our brothers and sisters, who are helping people learn how to walk again, who have lost legs in Iraq or Afghanistan. People who are learning how to become left-handed because their right arm doesn't exist anymore. People who are given every single thing they've got, and people are going to use this as an excuse to privatize the VA. And if you don't believe me, brother, I got a bridge in Brooklyn, I'll sell you. They want to privatize Social Security, right? They want to privatize Medicare. And the same group of people want to privatize the VA. They want to allow their friends to profit and make money off the care of our veterans. There are problems, though, brother, and we're going to fix them. And J. David Cox, the president of AFGE, is working tirelessly with the VA to show the best direction on how to solve a lot of those problems, and we, the Union Veterans Council, stand right there with him. Thank you. Yep. Number one now. Sorry I called on you first earlier.
Thank you. Tony Francetta, President Emeritus of the Florida Alliance for Retired Americans. I am a Korean veteran.
Welcome home, and thank you.
I'm a charter member of the Korean Veterans Association, and I belong to the American Legion, life member, VFW life member. But the point I'm coming to is I go to Navy reunions. I'm fed up, sick and tired of most of the people coming out of the service being Republicans, and the magazines both expounding a conservative point of view. We have to realize that that doesn't represent the veterans in America. Most of us, I belong to the VA. We need to advocate better than we're doing, because most of the people that the service is sending back think they need to be Republican, and they're full of crap.
Thank you.
Well, brother, I'll tell you right now, you just basically summed up a large part of my job description. And we are going to be working, because let me tell you something. We just had Memorial Day, didn't we? Now, there wasn't a politician in America who wasn't back home with their Save the Troops bumper sticker, that was probably made in China, on their car. And they ran all over the place talking about how we have to work so hard for those who have served. We have to do this for our brave young women and men. And then they voted for Fast Track. And then they voted for TPP. Because I don't know about your unit, sir, but I served in a Marine Corps Rifle Company. And the majority of people I serve with, they're not working on Wall Street now. They're working at the railroad. They're letter carriers. They work at General Motors. They're in the trade. And they're voting for people who are going to work against them. Now, we're going to do everything we can to educate people on those issues, because like I said earlier, working families issues and veterans issues. If you vote against veterans, if you vote you don't want to support the GI Bill, I got news for you. You probably don't support trade union issues either. And we're going to do a lot of member-to-member education on this. And we're going to talk to people about this, and we're going to let people know that just because somebody, they might even be a veteran, right? But if you're a veteran and you're a John McCain, for instance, John McCain voted against the GI Bill. People should know that. And we're going to educate people on this. We're going to let people know where they stand. Like I said, your ability to call yourself pro-veteran is no longer going to be limited to your ability to wave a flag. Not be able to say that we want to hire veterans and then not pay them anything. Looking at you, Walmart. We're going to let people know who you really are and who we really are, and we're going to win. Good to go? Which one? Number one.
Yes, my name is Gail Dietrich, and I'm from Nevada. I'm a member of the ARA CAN Executive Board, and I just wanted to tell you that we have plans to start up Veterans CAN chapters.
Wonderful. Irv on number 4.
Okay, thank you. My name is Irvin Weinreich. I'm from Allentown, Pennsylvania. I am a member of the AMVETS, a member of the American Legion, and a life member of the Veterans of Foreign War. I am a past district commander in Pennsylvania, and I am presently, for 10 years, the post commander in Allentown, Pennsylvania. Our issues are the same issues as what's being brought up here today, and I want to thank you for bringing it up under this convention, which is something that I haven't heard too much of on any of the conventions that I've come to. So once again, thank you.
Number 1, brother.
My name is Roman Allman. I'm the state president of the AFSCME retirees in Arizona. And I also have a 1-hour show once a week on KFNX in Phoenix. And this is precisely the issues that we talked about on last Thursday's program with Congressman Ron Barber, now retired. And one of the things that we talked about is that it takes about 3 to 6 months to train a warrior. And then we send them out in the field and they see all kinds of horrible things. And then they come back and finish their term and we tell them goodbye. We don't even spend a week adjusting them back into society. We do not discuss their problems that they are facing. We do not tell them where there is help available once they come back from service. Another thing, all these folks usually have a job before they go into the military. Well, they sure as hell don't have a job when they come back. I think it is the government's responsibility to make sure that every single veteran has a job when they return to society. There are too many veterans on the streets, homeless. We should have a safe haven in every major city in the United States so that veteran can come in for at least a cup of coffee or somebody to talk to. And as far as John McCain is concerned, you know, he was a person who got special privileges when he was in Vietnam. And frankly, those privileges are going to end because Ann Kirkpatrick is going to kick his butt.
Thank you very much, brother. Thank you very, very much. Adele, CWA New York, number 1.
Yes, I just want to ask a question.
Yes, ma'am.
It seems to me that lately there's a plethora of organizations sending out materials to contribute to the veterans and our soldiers, our military force. A long time ago, I used to subscribe to the disabled, veterans. And now we have the Wounded Warrior veterans. And I want to know, are they affiliated with you? It seems to me that we have to support our veterans. And the question came out, why is it that the veterans have to solicit, money through these, I wouldn't call it junk mail, but through the mail that's coming through. So are they affiliated with you? And, where's actually, I know you can't answer where does the money go, but yeah.
Oh, I can, yeah.
I don't know. So I'm just, trying to get a little bit more information about it.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. It's a wonderful question. So just a little background. No, the only people who are affiliates with the Union Veterans Council are trade unions, many of whom are represented here in this room. You affiliate, unions affiliate with the Union Veterans Council just like they affiliate with Central Labor Council, the State Fed, or the National AFL-CIO. And they pay a dues, but we don't collect individual funds from anyone. We just collect organizational dues, like ARA as well, all right? In terms of other outside groups, I can't editorialize or opine on those on every single veterans group because, like you said, there are a tremendous number. DAV, though, you mentioned Disabled American Veterans, is a group that we have worked with. Vietnam Veterans of America is a group we work with. But I really would like to remind you, because you bring it up, and in light of the FINRA conversation we had earlier, veteran is a nice tagline on something. And, I mean, if you're a bad enough person to try to rip off old elderly folks, you're also the kind of person who'd likely just lie and say it's going to veterans. And really, it's really not. So I would be very, very vigilant of things that you receive. And just like with FINRA, look it up. If it looks legit, check it out. If it doesn't, step out and don't give me money because you're not going to get it. None of it's going to veterans anyway. We are, there's a part of my remarks earlier that I left out, and shockingly. The mission of a Marine Corps Rifle Squad is something that I learned about 14 years ago when I was a young Marine recruit, 18 years old at Parris Island, South Carolina, and that is to locate, close with, and destroy the enemy by fire and maneuver, and to repel enemy assault through fire and close combat. And, that is something that obviously I carried with me throughout my time in the Marines, especially to Fallujah, Iraq. But it's also something I take to the office every day. If you don't think that it takes that type of mentality for us to fight back against the attacks we're under and to go on the offensive to get what's rightfully ours, I would disagree with you. And I think that we carry that mentality with us at the Union Veterans Council, and we are constantly looking for opportunities to not just play defense, but to go on offense and raise these issues up every chance we get. Number 3.
Good morning, Donald Nobles from the New York RTC. I just wanted to remind people that this is historical in terms of what the government does to service people. From after the revolution up to the Second World War, remember the camps of GIs that were in Washington camped out trying to get the government to keep its promises, and then they were treated the same way that civil rights workers were treated in Alabama later on. We have to remember, there is nothing different. We keep treating our returning service people the same way, which is badly. Just a point.
No, it's a wonderful point you make, brother. What he was referring to, if you don't know, is something called the bonus army, where people were promised their pensions. World War I veterans, they set up a camp like their original Occupy down on the mall, and they actually, the government rode cavalry over them, broke up their camp. People were killed, many wounded, and one of the great people there, a fellow Marine, retired Brigadier General Smedley Butler was there, a two-time recipient of the Congressional Medal of Honor, and sort of came up with a tagline that we still use to this day. That was, we changed it slightly, but if you served overseas, you shouldn't suffer at home. And I think that's something that is very, very true. If you serve, you shouldn't suffer. We made promises to our veterans, and we made promises to folks. If you serve, you should not suffer. You should have a job. You should have quality health care. You shouldn't be living on the street. And we're working tirelessly for those things. Last question. Last question, number 4. Yes, sister.
Hi, my name is Jody Weinrich. I'm a regional board member for the Alliance. I'm also with Workers United, SEIU. And my thing is, let's not forget the veterans in the veterans' homes, in the living community centers and that. Go visit them, because a lot of them are the forgotten veterans too. Not only, also we have the homeless veterans, and I'm not a veteran, but I'm married to the veteran Irv Weinrich, and I'm president of Our Ladies Auxiliary in Allentown for about 15 years. So let's remember the veterans in the veterans' homes too. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you very, very much. I think that's about it. If you have any other questions, I didn't get a chance to you, again, just give me a call. My phone number, 202-320-7423. You can email me, unionveterans@aflcio.org. I look forward to working with you. I look forward to meeting with you. I look forward to getting out there and talking with you. And let me know anything you can. And thank you again so much for your time.